At the end of most of my instructional videos, I ask people to leave comments or requests for instructional videos they'd like to see. I'd like to thank you, Richard Allen, for the first actual request. So what we'll be doing today is paper mache caps. I actually use these as a base for lots of different projects, so I'm going to try to make this a general tutorial for any kind of paper mache cap, but of course this is aimed at the kind of cap you could use to put satyr horns on, as per my earlier tutorials. Alright, let's begin. So this is kind of a two-person project, and you can do it alone, but it's very difficult. This is my second person. This is actually a rough cast plaster of me. I use this to build prostoming elements and such, especially when I'm prototyping, so that people don't have to sit for hours and hours while I work. So hopefully you remember paper mache from being a child. If you don't, we're just going to rip up a bunch of newspaper about the size, and then we're going to apply it to our head. Now, if this is a real person, wrap their head in either a bald cap or plastic wrap to guarantee that nothing sticks to their hair. Well, first two layers are just water and paper. So this is just regular water, regular paper, put it in, and you'll be able to put it on the head like this, and it will adhere to itself. And so we're just going to very lightly overlap a couple of strips like this, and we're going to do that and cover the entire head. Okay, so here are our first two layers, done again with water, not glue. Now the reason we don't use glue for the first two layers is we don't want this to stick to whatever your underlayer is, be that the plastic wrap or your head. We want a nice clean removal later, and 2 layers of paper I have found will give us that. So now we're going to switch to glue paper. 2 parts water, 1 part glue. So I have too much water, so I'm going to dump some of that out. And I'm just gonna, this is, so I'm using wood glue. You can use wood glue or Elmer's. These are both actually the same type of glue, just with wood glue is unbleached Elmer's glue basically. And the thing is, they're both designed for use with porous materials. Wood, I mean, paper is obviously the same kind of material as wood, right? It's just very thin wood. So I'm going to do 2 more layers. Same approach. Put your paper in your water glue mix and put it over top of your piece. No, I was not doing that, so I'll try again. So take your paper, get it wet. I like to drag it off the side, because just minimal wet is fine. It's just hard to get it wet without dunking it all the way. And then put it in here, and again, overlapping about 1 inch here. And when you do your second layer, and you can do as many layers as you want, I would recommend 3 or 4. When you do multiple layers, make sure you overlap in different areas to give it maximum strength. So here we have 2 more layers, so up to 4 layers, and you can see these are the size pieces I used originally. Now for the final layer and a half or layer or 2, we're going to switch to these very small pieces. The reason is, as you can see here, we're getting some creasing in the larger pieces, which is fine. The larger pieces provide additional stability by being longer, and single pieces, they have more grip. But the last 2 pieces, so that it's nice and smooth, are going to be these small pieces. So the smaller the better, and just overlap them and remove all of the creases. And here we have the last 2 layers. I hope you can see how small that one piece is right there. It's about that big. Right. So the smaller the better, but just so it's smooth and there's no wrinkles is pretty much your goal. And you can do as many layers as you want. This, like I said, this is 3 layers where you have 2 layers with water, 2 layers with glue, and then a third very thin layer with glue. And it will probably grab the first layer with paper. The glue on the second layer will seep, a third layer will seep down into the second layer, and then 1 layer will come off when I pull it off the model. So now, that's about it. So I'm going to let that dry on the model for, well, until it feels dry, basically. If you're doing this on yourself or your friend, this is the part where you basically have to sit around with the hat on your head for the next 5 hours or so. Again, until it feels dry. If you take it off before then, it will crumple, and that's not really particularly good. So either plan to order in or plan to be able to go out, and it's actually fun to go out in a crazy paper mache hat and watch everyone's reactions. Anyway, so one of those 2 plans. Either everyone's going to look at you like you're crazy, or you stay in all day. Your choice. And that is how you make a paper mache skull cap. I also use this for all sorts of other paper mache bases, such as for the base of a helmet, for the horns we requested that I made this out of. In that case, you just want to hot glue the horns directly to the skull cap in any place that seems good to you, and then coat it in a few layers of latex once you've sealed it with polyurethane, which is important for any version of this cap. Go ahead and seal the entire thing inside and out in polyurethane. Don't do it all at once. Work in segments about this big until dry, because the polyurethane will re-wet the paper and it will start to collapse if you do the whole thing at once. So do the different sections, let them dry, and move on from there. And when the entire cap is coated, you can use any finishing you want. Paint it, latex coat it, whatever you're intending to use it for. I often use it to build LARP helmets by putting Bondo on top and shaping it in any way that I would like. Or fiberglass over top of it also works, although fiberglass is really toxic, I have to stay away from it. Not that Bondo is much less toxic, but it's not really necessary to fiberglass over paper mache, because the paper mache is already completely structural. This cap will be so hard that I can knock on it, it will sound like wood. In fact, you can sand it and cut it with a saw, or a table saw if you want to shape it or make it more even, whatever you want to do with it. Here ends my tutorial on paper mache. Remember, it's not just skull caps. You can use it anytime you need to fabricate something, and it needs to be flexible, non-toxic, safe, and easy. As always, please like and subscribe my video, and put in the comments anything you'd like to see me make for my next video. I have a couple of projects in the works that I've been working on for a while, but the prototyping is proving difficult. As soon as I get them, I will have them up on the website. And I'm also going to start offering things that I make for sale through Etsy. So look for that in the next few updates. Of course, as always, I will always publish how to make them yourselves if you want to, but I will also allow you to purchase them from me if you're not that interested, or if you want to just not spend 6 hours doing it. Have a great day, and I look forward to your comments.